This is Sparta!
Oh!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Beastly Thoughts live show. This is episode, I think, 61. That's a lot of episodes.
We're getting old, for sure. I can tell you that.
You guys are. I made a deal.
What'd you make a deal?
So, everybody's been playing Bloodborne. I don't think I need to ask what you've been playing this week. Everybody's been playing Bloodborne.
Tetris.
Across the board, we already were talking before the show started, so I think across the board, everybody's loving this game. I got some real problems, like technically with this game, but they're not big enough to ruin the fun. The game is just a ton of fun. So, you want to just do kind of like quick first impressions? I'll go through it, go through the list of guys here, and we'll just do kind of like or do you just want to jump into talking about the game?
Either one.
All right, let's start.
Hector hasn't been with us for the last couple of weeks.
I want to say hi to Hector. Hector, what have you been up to for the last month or so?
Bloodborne. Sorry, I got
Bloodborne.
Way to start the show.
That game though. It's a lot of fun. It's frustrating but rewarding.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the word you have to, because like it's one of those games that's like you learn. It forces you to learn on your own, and I think. You know, there's games that some people that don't like it right now, the ones that bought it, or the people that I feel that are used to the games where checkpoints, you know, you make a left turn and you got a checkpoint already. This game isn't like that. You have to earn your spot. You have to learn, and like you have to pay attention to everything and learn from mistakes, and don't get too anxious, don't get too cocky. You have to be defensive, but yet on the attack, you know. And I think this game is a lot of fun because of that. It's very rewarding. I mean, there's some frustrations, which everyone's going to talk about the loading time.
Oh, God. They're brutal, though. They're
for me,
long.
See, to be fair, though, for me, the one game that prepared me for this game, I told Robbie about this, was Destiny. Destiny's loading times.
Good point.
Prepared me for this game. Prepared me for this game because before Destiny came along, I literally have not seen a game that did this since, like, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, where you just sit there and waiting for the game.
Let me
Destiny prepared me for it.
The reason that I think that it's more of an issue with this game is because Destiny is online, Evolve is online, right? So it's an online matchmaking.
It's online too.
Yeah, but even if you're playing single player, it's still a 40-second load time.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
And you see it a lot. Like,
yeah, it's rough, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. The load time is definitely too long. I mean, for me though, at times, like I need those 40 seconds. That's me. In those 40 seconds, what I'm doing is cursing and raging. So, like, it cools me off before I start again. So, I know the 40 seconds is helpful for me in that way because I will seriously throw the controller through the screen. So, I need those 40 seconds to cool down. So, I think of it like a cool down period because I need it.
It's a stress reliever.
So, Bloodborne is obviously the big game of the week, right? And everybody's playing it. If you don't know about this game, it's made by From Software. They're the guys who created Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. I don't think they have control over the Dark Souls franchise anymore, but this is very much a, in the same vein type of game. But for me, Dark Souls never really appealed to me. I saw screenshots. I actually watched Let's Plays of people playing it, and just visually, aesthetically, like that whole fantasy world, it never did anything for me. The people who talked about the gameplay said it was deliberate and slow-paced and very punishing, so that just nothing about it ever appealed to me. Bloodborne, when I first saw the trailer, was it E3 that we saw the blood porn trailer?
Yeah.
When I saw it for the first time, I'm like, well, I really like kind of the aesthetics of this. I like basically just the world that they've crafted here looked really interesting to me. And I gotta say, I am floored by this world. It feels completely fresh, like this like Victorian England kind of gothic horror. It's stunning. It really is beautiful.
And
Yarnum, yeah.
Well, the thing is this, though. Once you guys get past the beginning stages.
Yeah.
It's even crazier. The mind of the creators are just sick. Like I'm just saying,
crazy freaking dudes.
It's just crazy characters, crazy atmosphere. Like I find myself just stopping and looking at the scenery sometimes, just because it's like it's so creepy, and the sounds. Like when you're playing with the headsets, there's
you gotta play with a headset.
The breathing and it's creepy. It's actually scary.
So
too.
Immersive though with a good sounding headset, it's amazing.
You can run around like breaking like jars, like looking for items and stuff. I only just noticed this today, is that the sound and like the echo that it makes when you're in like a big cathedral as opposed to when you're outside, it's like a completely different sound because like the echo and the reverberations are different. It's like really stunning sound design. Like you said, you constantly have this like moaning and like this kind of screeching and stuff happening in the background.
This is called blood porn, you say?
That's what he said when everybody. At E3, when they announced the game, they had a Japanese developer up there, and it sounded like he said blood porn.
Shuhei.
That was him?
Yoshida, yeah, he's the one. I put it on my channel. It's like in the first couple seconds for my when I put the unboxing feel, like I put like the first couple seconds of it, the clip of him saying, "It's dear to my heart, blood porn."
Well, let me chime in on my thoughts on this game so far. This game has some of the best level design I think I've ever seen. You don't get any maps in this game. You have to actually remember where you've been, how to get there. And you actually learn this map. And as you learn it and you traverse it, and there are like kind of gateways that open up areas that you may have seen from a distance that you can't actually get to. And then you realize this whole new world is right outside that door. I feel like this world that they've crafted took 1,000 years to make, because when you think of the way a typical game's level layout is done, it's not done in this intricate way, the way that they designed it, the way it looks. Right, you're totally right. The world that they created, I've done it too. Yesterday, just sat and looked at the aesthetic, the environment. It's so shiny, so beautiful. Now, when you create your characters, they don't look too good. Okay.
I had fun with the character creator. My first character I made, I tried to make him look like me, but I quickly abandoned my first character once I realized that the build I went for was like just completely ineffective. So my second character, I just tried to make him as ridiculous as possible. He's got 2 different color eyes. He's wearing a fucking monocle. Like the guy just looks insane. He's got like this crazy ass beard, which frankly looks amazing. I really like how the characters look.
I created Dante from Devil May Cry.
Nice.
I saw a few people made that. Yeah. One of the things that I really, really like about this game, and it kind of doesn't make the loading quite as bad, is when you're in the world, there is no loading. You actually go, you can literally go on forever, go through this entire game without making a mistake, and reach the end without ever seeing a loading screen. The game is like loading in real time as you go. And that's something that I think is a technical feat. And it does make the whole 40-second loading time less of an issue. But one thing that I did find...
Don't count on ever seeing that, though, going through the whole game without a loading screen.
This is something that kind of made the game kind of questionable in the beginning, especially for somebody like me. Coming into this whole genre as a new person, I never really got in... I'm like you, Briar. I never got into Demon's Souls, Dark Souls. And coming into a world that's so unforgiving, it really reminded me of Nintendo, the NES. Games back then would kick your ass, and you spend $50 on a game, you come home and you die 80 times before you got halfway through it, and you had to put in the code to get back to where you were. This game really makes me feel the same way those old games did.
There's a difference, though, right? Is that I feel like in those old games, a lot of the difficulty came from like unfair things, like you'd have to jump someplace where you couldn't see and you might die, or things would fly in from off the screen so fast you couldn't react. This game has difficulty, but it never feels unfair. It always feels like if I get good enough at this combat system, I will be able to succeed.
Yeah. And the thing is, learning the combat system is rewarding in itself.
It really is.
For the first 3 hours, I very seldom use my pistol. Very seldom.
Oh, yeah. I was the same way.
It took a minute for me to start to understand that that's an important dynamic in the combat, that if you hit an enemy a certain number of times and wait for them to come back and counterattack, even though you can't swing your main weapon, if you pull out your gun and shoot them, you can stun them at that moment.
Right.
And sometimes they'll fall down, or they might lean over because they got caught off guard. And it does take a little bit of time to get used to that system. I feel like every time...
And then you can do a critical attack sometimes, too,
which
will most likely kill them.
Yeah, it's like when you reach into them and you burst whatever that gooey gel is that every enemy seems to have inside of them. Yeah, that's an awesome move.
A lot of things, something else that I don't see as many people doing, that it's more to the game, like to get more technical. Because some people, you just press, for example, I use the axe. That's like my preferred weapon. And the axe, right, left, with the single axe, when you have the axe in one hand and the shotgun in the other hand. What people don't realize, the reason when you switch to the weapons, where it interlocks, for example, I go from a small axe to a two-handed axe. When you switch it, it's made for it to be all fluently. So you can do a combo. So you do left, right, left, and in one motion, you combine it together, and you stab, jump, and then drop. Like, you can literally take the whole life of someone if you do the full combo in pattern. So,
my favorite one of those that I've seen so far is with the Kirk hammer. The weapon, it's like a regular sword, but on his back he's got like an enormous like concrete sledgehammer that the sword fits into, and the sword is then like the handle of the hammer. And during a combo, you can be swiping away with the sword, and then all of a sudden, with his left hand, he grabs the hammer and just like whack, boom, and then with one fluid motion, sticks the sword in there, and then you're holding the hammer.
Yeah, it's fun, man. Like, there's certain, I think that to add to it, what you're saying, basically, like, it just feels like they worked very hard on the detail of the game, like little things, objects around. It just looks very detailed. And like the one thing FromSoft has always had a problem with are the two things that are evident, which is the only two things people are playing about. It's the loading time and the frame rates.
Frame rate is terrible.
But here's the thing, though: the frame rate's proven that it's locked at 30 and drops to 24 in single player. The frame rate isn't as bad as everyone thinks because Digital Foundry did it. It drops to 24 though. It's proven though. It drops to 24, but it stays at a solid 30. It's when it's multiplayer it drops down, or co-op it drops down horrible. Like, it's almost unplayable when it's co-op. But like, it's been proven, right? Because they already went to the frame rate thing. Sometimes it's hiccups, and I can tell exactly when I see like it's like 9 enemies in the screen. All right, in the beginning, that one scene in Yurnam or whatever, where they're around the fireplace. There's all those guys there. That scene, if you run up full speed to them and you start dodging around, that's where it drops to 24. And they even show that. It drops down to 24 frames per second, which, to be honest with you, they are horrible at doing frame rate. They always were. In fact, the PC community are the ones that fix these problems. Like, they're the ones that, like, the fans are the ones that actually put in like patches and stuff that they fixed the game. Because FromSoft never was good with those things, and like they still aren't. They're supposedly going to do a patch soon, but they're going to have to hire someone else to do it. Because I know that they're horrible at it. Like, that's the one thing they're not good at, and it's just a shame because I wish it's a little solid, but at the same time, it's not unplayable.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's the only thing, but it is noticeable because, and it's not even like the fact that it's a huge like frame rate drop. It's the fact that you can see it's inconsistent. You could tell because it'll stutter at the time, it'll jitter at the time the frame rate drops, and it goes back up.
There's this like little tiny bridge right at the beginning of the game, and when I was first learning the combat, I was dying a lot, even to like, single enemies, just like normal enemies, I was dying because I just hadn't learned the combat. So I kept having to run across this bridge, and every time I did, the frame rate just dropped so low, and if I was panning the camera at all, it would actually make me a little bit nauseous. Like, that's how bad it was.
Wow.
So
but I don't care.
I've noticed some frame dips here and there. For the most part, it hasn't been game breaking. I didn't have that issue crossing that bridge. If we're talking about the same bridge in Central Yurnam, where you go across and there's a guy behind the boxes, I'm not sure. But one thing I did want to say, kind of as a public service announcement to the people who are just starting this game, people like me, Briar, who have not really delved into the world of Demon Souls and Dark Souls, this game is really difficult, and I'm sure everybody knows that. You might not understand how difficult it is until you actually have the controller in your hand.
It gets easier, though, once you start learning the combat.
Yeah.
For me, it was all about just like figuring out that ebb and flow of parrying with the gun and figuring out when I can attack, and also figuring out that I have to be somewhat aggressive to get my health back. Otherwise, I'm going to be constantly using those blood vials. Like, because if you get hit and then you immediately hit the guy back, you get a lot of the health back that he just took. So learning the combat system, which I actually think is really a brilliant system, once you do that, the game gets much easier. You progress in much bigger chunks. But right off the bat, it's not like any other game I'd played. I expected it to feel like Devil May Cry or something.
There's one question I had for you guys, if you guys figured it out. How the hell, like, where do you get, like, where it stores everything? Where's the storage at?
Storage it's inside the
storage is in the Hunter's Dream. It's by the workshop. It's right by
Because I'm like, you know how many vials I had stored, and this whole time I'm trying to pick it up, and I realize I look at it, my vials is not at the max, 99, and this whole time I came back sometime to purchase some, and I realized. I'm like, what? I didn't even realize that they had the storage. And I'm like, this whole time I'm running back to try to level up. I maxed out a lot of those things, which you could tell I was totally milking. I was totally farming. But
what the game does is if you reach that cap for that particular item, it automatically goes to the storage. And storage is.
But then it refills you when you leave the hunter's dream, so you don't even have to go and refill your storage.
I didn't even notice that.
You step in and step out. But what I was saying though. Is that if you're starting this game and you're dying a lot in the beginning, that 40-second load time is going to kill you.
Oh, yeah, it wears your ass out.
Yeah, I was playing with Kate. Kate and I were playing together, and she's definitely not used to this game. She loves it just like we do right now. She's in there probably playing it right now. But initially, she's like, oh, God, this is fucking driving me crazy because you go into the game, and 2 minutes later, you're dead. Then you got to wait for a minute to get back into the game. And for a person who's not used to this difficulty curve, it's pretty easy for you to give up on this game and go to another game. Like she was considering going to play Dragon Age, which isn't a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. No. But I wanted her to try to stick in and see if we could progress together. I'm happy she did. So if you're out there and you're new to the game and you're dying a lot in the beginning, just trust us. It does get easier. I know that 40 seconds is a killer. Hopefully that's patched. I hope they can patch that.
They are patching, I think, next week, they said.
Because if a person's new to the game and you're dying all the time and every few seconds...
That and the frame rates they're doing. BC, like you said, both, what you're just saying now, they're supposed to patch both.
That's going to be awesome. If they actually make improvements, even if they get that load screen down to like 30 seconds.
Only half a minute load screen. It'll be on the box.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want it to be too fast though. I'm gonna need those couple seconds to breathe.
Just for a little stress reliever. Yeah.
Do a little meditation.
Sometimes it hurts. Right. Like I've been in some boss battles that like it came down to one hit for me or them. And sometimes I came on top, and sometimes I lost. It hurts when you lose, and it's like that you had one hit, and you start thinking like, damn, when I accidentally took a potion or the blood vial when I wasn't supposed to, and like I had plenty of time. When you wasted stuff when you didn't, like it makes you rethink everything.
Yeah.
So it's fun though.
But that's what it all comes down to, in my eyes, is that you're not just leveling up your character, you're leveling up yourself. You're like, you are learning how to play this game as you go. I think that guys who have Dark Souls experience are probably getting a much easier go of it. But for me, and I think Beastly, I've never played these games, Beastly's never played these games, so we jump in, and it's like the first guys are tearing our ass up.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I said, is this the first guy at boss? What the hell? And one thing I'll say, though, that I've never seen anything like this in a video game, not that I can remember easily, is a boss as aggressive as Lord Galstion. I think that's his name.
Oh, that guy was cool.
As soon as you walk through the mist, out of your peripheral, you're like, what the hell is that moving towards me so quickly? and Kate saw the first time I fought him, she said, is that him? I said, yeah. He's after you like white on rice, and these enemies are hardcore. You've really got to be on your A game. But one thing Briar kind of said, I think both of you guys said it, Hector and Briar, that if you die, you realize that you could have actually won. Yeah. It's not like the game cheats you. It's a mistake.
With one exception, I think the camera angles can get pretty rotten. The first boss fight on the bridge, there were a couple of issues that I had where it was just like the camera would just get stuck on something, and I couldn't see at all what was going on.
I think it was literally like it's literally you versus the camera in the first match, but I think because they wanted to make it like that first scene like very epic, that you're going against a massive beast for the first boss in a small area, confined area, and that's where it got difficult because these camera angles or to rotate stuff, it's different from Dark Souls. And like I beat Demon Souls, I beat Dark Souls. I beat Dark Souls first and then beat Demon Souls because I rage quit at Demon Souls, and then I went back to beat it after Dark Souls, and then Dark Souls 2 I beat. But like the thing is that I learned right away that this game is completely different, that the fact I'm so used to dodging left and right, and I was telling Robbie that because I noticed that every time he'll dodge backwards, which is really good for basic enemies, but when you're going with guys that have giant axes and long axes, even if you go backwards, they're going to reach you.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like I was saying, I'm so used to. That's why some of the bosses he had problems with, I didn't. But then other ones I did, he like found easier. It's because the side motion you have to get used to, and I'm used to that from Dark Souls. But the difference is you have to charge now. Dark Souls, you didn't have to do that because now you have to charge. Because once they hit you once, you have to charge. Otherwise, you're gonna have to waste health to heal yourself. So like it's a choice. Do I go in to charge now, or do I wait? You know, and that's where.
That is one of the coolest mechanics I've seen in combat in like quite some time.
It's a risk-reward system.
Oh, yeah. But it's like amplified so much because you're constantly like weighing in your mind, do I go in for that strike to try and get that health back, or do I just like pull way back, you know, pop a health, and then like kind of regroup? It's a constant pull, and like I love the combat in this game, and I'm only just beginning. I really feel like I'm just beginning to understand it. I feel like I've got a long way to go. That first boss fight, I mean, it took me, I think, 5 or 6 tries to get through it. And you know, honestly, though, I will tell you this, is that once I kind of figured it out,
you're a badass.
No, I had stopped locking onto him.
Yeah.
I think that really helped me out. I just controlled the camera myself instead of letting that camera kind of do its own thing, and that really helped.
Also, all you have to do, there's different techniques for the first guy. Like first of all, you stay to his left hand, not his right one. His shoulder arm. So you always dive to the left side. Another thing, if you take 2 shots when you're close enough, 2 shots with a pistol drops it to 1 knee. 5 shots with the what's that one called, the starts with
blunderbuss?
Yeah, blunderbuss. 5 shots brings him down to his knees, and then you can do a power shot. If you do a power shot, it takes 1/7 of his life. So I learned like all that stuff playing that one, because that one I found a little bit harder. The second one, like I said, I beat the first try, and then on my second playthrough, not that I beat the game, on my second playthrough after my game save got erased, I actually lost the first time against that guy by like the 1 hit, which is
second boss.
Yeah, and then I beat him afterwards, which I find him a little bit easier because you can use things as your shelter, the tombstone, to protect.
Yeah, there's stuff you can. Yeah, that guy. First try, I killed him, but I had been much leveled up. Like I was much more powerful than when I didn't even really know how to level my guy up.
Yeah,
it's all like a brand new experience, and I really do enjoy the Blood Echoes portion where you're always kind of you're exploring, you're pushing forward, and you're gaining these Blood Echoes, but then it gets to a point where like, oh man, like. Just recently, I had like 17,000 Blood Echoes.
So much.
I'm having so much fun, kind of like exploring the area I'm in, but I'm like, God damn, if I die right now,
it's gonna suck.
Yeah. And then like I see this altar, I'm like, I wonder if I touch that altar, if this is gonna be a boss fight. I've got 17,000 Blood Echoes. Like I don't even know what's gonna happen.
That's why, rule of thumb: make sure you always purchase those potions where you reborn with all your echoes again. So what I do, I make sure I equip that for the quick button. I sprint to where I drop the potion or drop my Blood Echoes. I pick it up and I drink it to go back to the beginning. I don't even take a risk anymore. So then I spend the money. Like that's one of the best things. Once you do that, you go back to the beginning with all your Blood Echoes.
Can you do that in a boss fight?
Yes.
Oh,
you can. If you're almost dead, you could drink it. I did that too. I died against it, so I went back to pick it up because the bosses do not keep them. The bosses leave it on the floor. Every other creature, sometimes the other characters can pick it up. Sometimes their eyes glow and they have it, but the boss always leaves it somewhere, usually around the spot that you did die at, so that you just run and get it, and then you disappear. Like,
I love that aspect of the game. I think it's brilliant. You know, that was true with Dark Souls as well, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant. It really creates a tension that wouldn't be there without it.
This game wouldn't be right without asking Robbie how many times he raged out on it. Did you rage at all, Robbie? Please tell me you did.
Especially during the third boss fight. The first boss, I took down my first try. I was so thrilled with it. I was really, really happy. Father Gaviscoigne, he wasn't that difficult. I got him down, I'd say, my 4th try. I finally got him. The third boss, however, it was like 10 or 11 tries, and I got so frustrated fighting him. But here's the brilliant thing about Bloodborne and its boss design. The boss fights are incredible. Like, I have never felt such an adrenaline rush playing a video game like this. Like, my heart is, like, thumping out of my chest. I am just so nervous. I'm like, oh, my God, I don't want to die to this guy. I want to get him down so badly and get that checkpoint. And once you finally do, it's like, oh, my God, the most amazing sigh of relief.
Rewarding.
Hit that checkpoint, you kill the boss, it's like, yes!
Yes. I've been playing the game in the living room, right? And my kids have been kind of like watching me play. And the first time I beat that first boss, we did high fives.
Nice.
Well, my kids aren't so forgiving. Every time I died, they all said, "Man, Dad, you're getting destroyed."
That's what my wife does.
Go to your room. You know,
that again, huh?
Now, there's some aspects of this game we haven't touched on yet, and I know a lot of us haven't seen this stuff yet. But you can actually do different forms of multiplayer in this game. There's multiplayer co-op that you can reach once you have 10 insight, so you can actually join a friend's game. They have a password system, so nobody else can invade. You can also do PvP, and you can invade someone's game. So if you want to troll someone, like Robbie, if I get powerful enough, I'm going to invade Robbie's game and come in as an enemy and watch him rage so I can record it and put it on
I'll
YouTube.
whoop your ass, piece of gamer, so that won't happen.
You have to ring the bell, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think you have to ring the bell if you're being invaded. I think you just have to have an open worldwide network.
Yeah.
And then people can invade you. As long as you don't have a password.
Yeah, I troll so hard though. I always put notes to say take a step forward if it's like off a ledge. I do. I troll so hard in the game. I love doing it. I know, like I must have got. I put right in the elevator, right? That's another thing we should mention. Like in this game,
notes.
The important thing is not just notes. I'm talking about the shortcuts. You always have to find something to unlock so that if you do die against a boss, you can sprint back to them. That's your checkpoint pretty much. In this, that's the way it is in other Dark Souls games, but this one really focuses on that's their checkpoint where you open an elevator that was just jammed or something. You unlock it so that you could sprint back to that spot, and you only face a couple enemies as opposed to like 100 of them, you know? Right. And that's the most important thing right there. But there's one thing, like I put stuff in front of the elevator. I put it's a trap, or it says something like in front of it, so when people read it, I know I must have threw people off.
That's messed up.
They're too afraid to go into the elevator because they thought it might be a trap.
I saw a bunch of trolls too, and for people who don't have the game, in this game, you can leave notes. You have a notebook. You can just leave a note anywhere. Any other player can go through that area, see your note, and read it. And a lot of times people kept getting me scared because I'd pick up a note and read it, and they'd say, "Look behind you." And I'd turn around like,
and then you look around, you're like, "Oh, God."
Yeah, and so you can leave notes and you can read notes, and that's what Hector is. He's a troll, so he's gonna leave the wrong notes for you. He throws you off your trail.
Remember in Destiny how I just ran off and loot everything, right? Yeah. Did the same thing. I was showing Robbie some chests. Like I was fooling around the elevator as it was going up, and I tumbled outside of it by accident, and I fell into the area. This secret area that you walk around. There's a chest there, and you get a silver trophy when you unlock the chest right away. And it's just funny because I was accidentally finding like different things. I think I found like 4 different secret chests just by taking my time and just having fun with the game, not rushing through things.
That's how I found my first piece of armor. I was just busting a bunch of jars and stuff by rolling around, and all of a sudden I fell off a cliff, and that eventually led to like my first it was a full outfit. And
yeah, I got that too.
I thought that was awesome.
Now, guys, I love this game. It's obvious we all love this game, but we got other things we got to cover. So I'm going to ask you guys one last question about Bloodborne. Is this PlayStation 4's first must-have exclusive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's a yes to try it, but if you're a person that limited in time and you're a person that
impatient,
likes checkpoints and stuff,
doesn't like stress.
Yeah, a game that doesn't hold your hand, then maybe not. Maybe you should skip it. I mean, if you could rent it because I think it's something you should experience to see, because maybe you never, if you're the type of person that only likes that means you probably never tried that before. So you're more of a newer type of gamer instead of like someone from like you said, NES days, and where you're used to stuff like that, where you just kept starting all over and over again, So I think that you should maybe rent it, but without a doubt, I think if you want to try something new and you think that you could do it, this game is definitely worth your money without a doubt. Like this is worth more than $60, to be honest.
And if you don't like the game, there's something wrong with you. Because this game
it's going to take a couple of hours for you to like kind of. For me, it took me a couple hours to kind of like all right, I'm starting to get the flow of combat. Like I'm starting to understand how this level, because once you enter Yharnam, like every pathway seems blocked. They really kind of shuffle you along this like one route. But as you start kind of exploring, you see that this level actually looks like somebody threw like spaghetti against the wall. It's all like intertwined, and you just got to open up all these gates. But the combat is tough. You know, there's actually I was just telling Robbie, there's this one guy, I walk up a ladder, like this real long ladder. I stood up there, the guy blasts me in the face, I fall backward off the building and die. Like it's like
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He throws Molotovs too. That guy is insane.
Did you guys kill the hunter at least? Like the hunter in that level?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kill the hunter is pretty cool, but like you could like do I'm cheap. I'm not gonna lie. What I like ran in certain areas just to push them off. Or like I love doing that to enemies. I'll go to where the ladder is, and like as they're walking down or something, I show Robbie that. Yeah, so you could kick them or punch them off the ladder, and they fall.
You hit up or kick down. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, Robbie tried it. It's so funny when he did it. You see the guy just fall down and then died. He got credit for it. Like,
you get souls too. It's so worth it. Oh my god.
But yeah, the game is a lot of fun, and I like it just because. You learn how on your own. Like they don't tell you, you learn, and as you see each enemy, they don't do anything different. Each enemy has their set of moves, and for the most part, they keep doing it. So throughout time, if you remember, it's like, oh, I remember this guy does this. He does like a pump with the rock, like those giant troll-looking guys with the rocks. Yeah. I know that I have to keep my distance and then attack at this point. The werewolves, all you have to do is just face him and then just wait till he makes a move. And you just sidestep him and then attack him when you're behind him. There's different things like that. You just remember which character does what, and you're good to go.
But I will say this: some of the characters get new moves as you progress.
Yes, sure.
Which is cool.
I've noticed that. I think that the characters actually get stronger as you progress.
Yes.
So it does take more hits as you get stronger. I thought I'd just go in there and one hit everything, and it was like 4 hits. I was like, what the hell happened? These guys drinking rage juice or something? But the game is awesome. If you have a PS4, you owe it to yourself to at least try it and join the Beastly Thoughts crew. It's an awesome game.
One last note for noobs, anyone that's new to like the Soul series or whatever, in this game, without a doubt, if you're new, to get the advantage, farm. Go back and forth. Even if you die 100 times, keep grabbing things, get blood echoes, and then purchasing things that keep leveling up. Once you're allowed to level up before you get to these bosses. It'll make it a lot easier for yourself. Since you're a newbie, that's how you do it. Like, you make it easier on yourself, you get yourself leveled up quicker. Because you could do as many times as you want. They're going to respawn the same spot, and that's it. You can keep farming and everything like that.
Yeah.
Just
Don't be afraid to start a new character, too. I started building the character out, and I was really unhappy with like the choices I had made upgrading him. Once I kind of learned more about like all the weapons and how the upgrades worked, so I restarted, and within I think 2 hours I had done the same amount of progress that I had done in like 6 hours with the first
Wow.
You know?
It's kind of the same way it was for me with Destiny. First, I had no idea what I was doing, but yeah, the game is awesome. Yeah. All right, guys, so we're going to continue on with the show and talk about the news this week. I want to start by PlayStation Update 2.50 has went live this week. Have you guys had a chance to experience this update, some of the new perks and additions to the console? And if you have, what do you thought about it? I personally have really enjoyed this suspend resume feature that allows you to...
I'm surprised how much I like that.
Yeah, no matter what game... And it works really well with Bloodborne because sometimes you're... Oh my God, it's 5 in the morning.
Well, he's suspending resume right now on YouTube.
You can. What it actually does is it puts your PlayStation 4 into rest mode, and it works at a lower power consumption. And when you turn it back on, it starts whatever game or application that you were using at the same point. So any application, I think it's really awesome. I know some games that have already been released don't support this function, but they're all being patched now. So that's really awesome. And one other feature that Hector talked about a few weeks ago that at that time it was conjecture, but now it's fact. Now you can change the buttons on your PlayStation 4's DualShock 4 controller. You can remap any button to be anything you want. You can turn your up into a triangle if you want, and I think that's a really awesome feature of this update. That's just 2 things.
I almost did that with Bloodborne because I found that the controls for Bloodborne were weren't coming naturally, but I decided to just wait it out and learn them.
Oh, just let me know when you try that with The Last of Us, and we'll get into that. But one thing
I'm never gonna play multiplayer of that game again. Just let you know. I know you're holding out hope that someday we're gonna do that again, but it's just never gonna happen.
It's all good. I can enjoy it by my lonesome. But one thing that I kind of felt bad about this update, as far as the button reconfiguration, is that they don't have presets. Like, they don't have a racer preset or a first-person shooter preset or an adventure or a third-person adventure preset. It's only one. So once you change it, that is what it is until
you have to change it for every game you play.
One
second though. Before we move on, just what you were saying before, if this video gets more than 50 likes, Briar has to play multiplayer at least once for Last of Us. Just saying. Just don't have to. If this video gets more than 50 likes,
50 likes.
He had to play multiplayer. Just saying. Just throwing it out
That's
there.
a lot of new accounts for both our viewers.
Just saying.
50 likes, guys. Make Briar play an awesome game.
Like 30 accounts for each person.
Yeah, but the button mapping though, it's a start, and I heard that they already tweeted back. I gotta find the site I saw it, but they're working on more to improve the button mapping. So because people kept saying about how about doing that for individual games, like someone discussed it, right? Remember, Briar? When you were saying it before, and like looks like they're looking into it. So that means it's just the beginning. If that comes into play, that I would like to see ultimately for each separate account that's on the PlayStation has their own set of things, and it takes up room in your hard drive. Fine, it's a save file. It saves the memory, but it's not that much information that's saving. But at least it remembers what your button map was for that specific game. So the minute you start the game up, it automatically switches up for you. And I think, hopefully that's what they're going towards, but it looked like that's what they understand. It's just a start, but, I think it's a good start. Obviously, it's a little weird. I think that this right now works out perfect for the people that still like the DualShock 3 buttons, or, like the old PlayStation buttons where L1, R1's to lock and shoot. Some people like that. Some people don't like going back to the back buttons. They're not used to it still, so that right away, if you switch those two, then it's easier for people in like when they play like multiplayer, like first-person shooters and stuff.
That is a faster way to play too. It's absolutely a better button combination. Like if you're firing a single-shot pistol in Call of Duty or something like that, using a button as opposed to the trigger, you can fire much faster.
Yeah. Yep. So I think it's a great start, but hopefully that's the thing, it's a start. So let's see what they do in the future. I'd love to see what they prove from. They have the foundation now. They understand that people like it. They like the idea that it's there, So let's see what they're going to do from it. So.
I do a community spotlight for Planet Destiny, and one of the videos we showed this week was somebody playing Destiny with one hand.
That was cool.
That was cool. But like stuff like that, having these kind of accessibility options makes gaming more accessible to everybody. I'm kind of surprised that it's taken this long to get a feature like this on a console, and I've always been pissed that every game does not have remappable controls because some people don't have full use of every finger on their hand, but would still like to play your game,
But see,
I'm glad Sony moving in this direction.
One thing, like what you're saying right there, it doesn't just do that. What about all these other controllers besides DualShock 4 it attaches? Like, what about your fighting game? Now you can customize things outside of the game itself. You customize it the way you want to in the console itself. You don't have to keep switching back and forth and doing your loadout, whatever, for a fighting game. For example, Mortal Kombat's coming out soon, right? So, like, there you go. You set it up the way you want to according to that, according to your... when you're using this, because this layout is completely different from a controller, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you might find it easier to control it, because some people don't want to plug in the DualShock 4 and then switch to the arcade. They could just use this now, the arcade stick, and have it programmed the way they want to, and then get used to starting and doing everything on the PlayStation 4. So I think stuff like that's pretty cool.
What does this update mean for things like Scuff and these Mad Cats?
Well, Scuff adds a button.
Yeah. I think that you don't have to do the expensive add-on. Like, you get the regular Scuff, and then you don't have to do it for some people.
That's a good point. You don't have to get the remappable button.
Yeah. So it saves them money on that part. So
yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, Scuffs add a button. Like it literally adds triggers to the back of the controller. Any game where you want to jump and shoot at the same time, a Scuff is very, very useful.
So good.
Well, I mean, technically you could do it like a getaway. I mean, you could like now if you could change a button to the front to be your shooting, you could drop shot if you put like a stick or something between. If you tape it, think about it. I'm just saying. Now you can press 2 buttons at the same time. I'm just saying you can program it yourself now.
Well, only you, Hector. Only you.
Only you would think of something weird like that.
I'm just saying. It's called Not Too Nerdy Controller. Please send money to. I'll create it for you guys. Don't worry about it. Send me your controller. I'll use duct tape and sticks, and I'll fix it.
Right. What else is new in the news this week, guys?
There's more to the feature. What else is it? You guys found it, right? You saw how hard it was to find the freaking button assignments. That's one thing. Like I don't understand the locations of things. Like why?
Well, hold on, Hector. Before you say that, actually, it's been added to the quick. Like if you hold down the PlayStation button,
Yeah.
the notifications have actually been added there. So if you hold that down, you have to enable it. But once you go there, you enable that. And like if you hold down the PlayStation button where you see rest mode, turn off the PS4, turn off the device, it's right there. So it's actually pretty easy.
It's not user friendly though. Like there's a spot for controllers where you could dim down everything, like the light on the controller. There's a spot for the controllers. How is that not in the spot for controllers when it's buttons on a controller?
Man,
That's
That
why
seems
I'm like,
logical. This seems logical.
you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like, okay, let me go to controller so I can customize everything for the controller, but yeah, it's in a whole completely different section.
Yeah.
The section is accessibility. That's not
accessibility.
All right. Yeah.
You can also delete your trophies now, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like the games that you
The
played, you
0%.
never. Yeah, that's nice.
The games that you never played or you never got a trophy and you can delete those off your list. They have a myriad of new options now. You can upload videos. You can do Twitch now. You can find your friends on Facebook.
You can always do Twitch.
I'm sorry, not Twitch. I'm thinking Twitter. Now they have Twitter integration for your friends list. They have Facebook integration. Now you can play with your friends on Facebook who play on Facebook. You can find your friends and play whatever game they're playing live. And now they've integrated a whole new option under each game. It's a drop down, and now you can see who's playing that game actually at that moment. And one button press, you can join them in that game. So that's actually pretty cool. You know, for people who don't want to find parties and things of that nature. They've added a lot to this this update. I think it's one of the better ones for PS4.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, moving on. Who wants to cover the next story?
What's the next story?
Hector doesn't know the next story. God of War is currently the only God of War game planned to be remastered. Is this good news? Bad news, guys?
I think
God
we
of War's
covered
only
the
God of
fact
War.
last week that I don't give a shit about God of War 3.
Well, yeah, we're covering it one more time. I honestly don't care either.
What do you say?
I think it's good.
Okay.
I think it's good news. I'd rather see a new God of War than anything else. I've seen all.
You wouldn't
the
rather
movies.
see a collection, though? I think that's what the takeaway of this is, that God of War 3
There
is
was
the only
already a
one. What about the
collection.
collection?
There's
What's the
already a
collection?
collection. I don't mind it. I think it's always good to have more options for those people who didn't make it to the party on time. But for me personally, I don't care because I've seen them all. Now, of course, there's people who are 18 years old who never got to play the original God of War or things of that nature. For them, that might be entertaining. But for me, I was already an adult when it came out, and I couldn't care less. But
You know what I would do is I'd go and buy it for like $5 at GameStop.
play it on your PlayStation 2. Yeah, for me, it's not a big deal, but I understand there is an audience that would appreciate seeing something like that remastered. Even the stuff that came out on PSP, Ghost of Sparta, but they've already re-released that. It came out on PS3, and that's not an issue to get a hold of it. I just want to see whatever they're bringing out next and how they're going to innovate the franchise rather than regurgitating everything. Go ahead.
Sorry. As you say, I had an issue with this whole thing. I just want to say something about it. It's something I've been wanting to talk about, like with everyone getting upset. People take it like it's a personal thing when they remaster a game, when they're bringing out rehashing the game. Like, stop crying. The reason why is this. Look, if it doesn't appeal to you, no one's forcing you to buy the game. It's
Vote
fine.
with your wallets. Buy it if you support it. If you don't buy it.
But the thing what people don't
That's right,
understand,
Robbie.
they don't waste their whole development team to remaster games. So people think, oh, because they're making this game, they're not making a new game. That's not the case. That has nothing to do with the new game. That's the thing that drives me crazy when people say that. That's their rationality. Like that's what they say. They're like, oh well, because they're making this rehash game and they're trying to make extra money, they're not focusing on the new game. That's bullcrap. They have their own. They usually separate studios. Sometimes there's a completely different studio that does remasters, like from the original ones. And sometimes it's a part of the original team, but they have larger development teams. These people are not small companies. Like they know what they're doing. Like
that's exactly what I said last week, Hector. That this game, this remaster of God of War 3 is probably just a refresh for people who are going to be getting the next game. I think it's going to be announced at E3.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely going to happen. And some of the younger people have never played a God of War game. They're like, okay, there's a new one coming out to PS4. It's a remaster, but at least I can have kind of a refresher course on what God of War is all about, what Kratos is all about, and then they can go to the next one. I definitely think that's what it is.
I think people forget that this is not they forget there's new gamers every day. There's people that the PlayStation 4 is maybe their first console ever. You know what I mean? Like there's new audiences every single day. If it's not targeted to you, then don't buy it. It's simple as that. It's not like anyone's saying you have to buy the game. And that's the thing that drives me crazy. And this one they even announced it's not even going to be $60. So even on top of it, they're not even charging the $60 price, and that's still not good enough for people. It's to me, I'm not going to buy it. Why? It doesn't appeal to me. I played all of them, and I already have the collection. I already have all the games individually. I even have the HD, which is God of War Saga, which does have 5 of the games. I don't need this one. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't blame them for doing it. It's whatever. If they decide to do it, that's on them. It's because there's new audiences every day.
I'm watching Briar. Briar's like, can we just get past God of War?
all right, guys. Speaking of remasters,
you like God of War?
Let's just skip the next story too. It's another remake story.
Yeah.
Can we just get past the remake stuff?
What about you want new? I know Robbie's going to enjoy this. The new Guitar Hero is set to be announced on April 1st for PS4 and Xbox One. Briar's head just exploded.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Guys, this is April Fool's, so...
Yeah, okay.
That one, I don't know about that one. We'll see.
Oh, man, dude.
That's
well, Arkham Knight was delayed again until June. I think that's good news.
How big a delay is that? That was supposed to come out in May?
3 weeks, yeah. It's 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so compared to October being pushed back to June, this is literally a couple weeks from June 4th to the 23rd. I don't really care about this at all. It's great that they're taking the time to fix the game, whatever they need, and great.
Yeah, I never get upset about delays because, hopefully it's just going to help us out in the end. We're going to pay the $60 for it, whether it's delayed or not, so hopefully we get a better product in the end.
It's 3 weeks, it'll definitely be better.
I'm paying more. I ordered the Batmobile. I paid up for it. I had to. I don't know why I did it, but I was like, I'm going to buy it. I got the collector's edition. So whatever, Did
you guys see the Handsome Jack collection for Borderlands 2? That thing's $400.
Yeah.
The special edition for that is $400. It comes with a pretty damn cool
Claptrap.
Yeah.
Oh, Claptrap with a box edition. Oh my god!
I actually saw that the PS4 screens versus the PS3. It's a pretty nice graphical boost. I don't know if I want to delve deep into.
I've heard that it runs like ass though.
Really on the PS4?
I have it on Xbox One.
I've heard it's got some real frame rate issues.
Oh, wow.
I have it on Xbox One, and I've been playing the pre-sequel, and it runs good, but at times it does kind of get the screen kind of chops a little bit, and it looks a little rough. It's pretty good for the most part, but it needs to be patched a little bit.
But you're on the moon, though. That's why. It's it's in space, so that's why.
That frame rate came from the moon.
All right, guys. So moving on, Raven Software teases a possible sequel to Singularity. I didn't play the first one. So
I've never heard of the first one.
I was going to say that.
You've never heard of Singularity?
That's the Capcom game, right?
I've never heard of it either. I'm not gonna lie. That's what as soon as you said it, I'm glad Briar said it first. I'm like,
all right. Let me tell you guys what Singularity is. I've never played it, but I know quite a lot about this game. It's basically a first-person shooter where you shoot monsters and stuff like that. It's developed by Raven Software. They've been like a Call of Duty developer lately. They've been helping like Sledgehammer Games with Advanced Warfare. They worked on like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3. So they've been Call of Duty for the past couple of years. But
didn't they make like Hexen back in the day and stuff like that?
yeah, but in 2010 they made this really, really cool looking like dark first-person shooter called Singularity, and it was really underrated. Like the game looked amazing. I really wanted to play it, and now it looks like there's going to be a sequel because they've been setting up these screenshots and teasing us with them. So if it gets a sequel, that's awesome.
Because we care about you, Robbie, we're happy you're happy. Now,
I've seen this.
When they announced, there was a game that came out back when the PS3 first came out and the Xbox 360 first came out. It was called Time Shift. I don't know if you guys remember it. It was a first-person shooter that you actually had the ability to stop time, fast-forward time, and rewind time. And you could run up to an enemy and throw a grenade, freeze time, or not throw it, freeze time, run up to him, drop a grenade on his back, run away, and let time go. It was just a whole bunch of crazy mechanics. I like to see something like that. But Singularity sounds nice because Robbie likes it.
Moving on. Yes, I remember it now. You can make people go upside down, so you can change like altered gravity and stuff like that.
It was so crazy. I love that game. I still love it. Bloodborne may be coming to a personal computer.
Where does this news come from? I see this at IGN. Is that right?
Yeah, and it was a listing by Amazon France that was leaked. And I'm upset about this because Sony, like this is like your big first exclusive for PS4. Don't let this one go.
The voice of the people. The voice of the people. Heck,
it's not true. The reason why it's not true, this is the same site. The reason why they're going on is because this site has listed 4 things. Look, they listed multiple things that are going there, right? They also listed Killzone Shadowfall. I'm waiting for that one. I'm also waiting for Infamous Second Son. That's not coming out. They always list that in Windows 7, Windows 8. That's what people are going by on the site. On that same site, they listed Killzone Shadowfall, and they also listed Infamous Second Son. Sony owns the IP of this, hands down. They own the IP.
Stay exclusive. They stay exclusive.
They own the name. It doesn't even matter what happens. Even the name that that whole thing, everyone made a whole thing that the name was dropped the day before the release. That means nothing because that just means that someone could come out and use the name Bloodborne, but it still takes a year. They still have a full year to renew it. But my point is this: that like they own the rights to the game unless they give them permission to go ahead and make it somewhere else, which I don't see why they'll do that when they're making a fortune off it right now, where they're going to make a fortune off it. You know what I mean?
They are. I think that everybody with the all my friends are playing this game.
Yeah.
So I look at my friends list, everybody's on. I'm like, geez, I haven't seen this since Destiny first came out.
And they came out and tweeted right away. They already tweeted right away. The FromSoft had to tweet. They already responded back that same day after IGN did it. They said it's not planned and it's not going to be. He already said that. I just thought it was funny because that one site, man, it's like they post everything there, and eventually they're gonna be right. They're right 2 times out of 5 so far.
Yeah.
So,
I think on that site they said Beastly Thoughts was a 2 out of 5. They're fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude.
5.
You've heard of us?
Yeah.
Oh my god! There we go. We got 3 viewers, guys. Yes.
Wait.
All right. My quick takeaways though from this, because I don't think Sony would be that stupid to let go of Bloodborne. Like, look how everybody is playing it. Everybody's loving it. It's a huge exclusive to PS4. Do you really think they'd let it go like that?
This is their only must-have exclusive.
It's huge. They can't let this game go. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's really getting into it.
Here's how you do it, right? Right before Bloodborne 2 comes out, maybe 6 months before Bloodborne 2 comes out, release it on PC. That way you get all those PC players. Oh, I heard this game is really good. I'll check it out on my PC. Holy shit, this game is great. When's the sequel coming out? 3 months? Oh, man, I'm buying a PlayStation 4 to play it.
I'll tell you right now, I heard a lot of people in the forums and stuff. That's what I do with the forums now to figure out certain things I couldn't find out in the game. And like a lot of the PC gamers that had Dark Souls, the ones that really want this game, the Souls people, they actually went out and bought a PS4 just to get this. And it's funny because they're used to doing that anyway, right? Like when you're a PC gamer, you're used to buying a graphics card just for a game anyway.
Yeah.
So if to them, they're like, oh, I'll go spend $400, $350 for the one game, and I'm sure they're gonna sell it once the game's done or whatever. Like if they don't keep it, you know what I mean? But I don't
watch Powers on it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Has anyone seen that?
Yeah. I watched the first 4 episodes.
I was dying when they explained how you could get powers by blowing a super.
Yeah. Makes you want to walk out the street and say I have powers, right?
Oh man, I'd be like, if I was fucking Superman, I'd be telling that story too.
Girls are blowing people with superpowers to get a little taste.
Oh my god.
Watch like next week they announce it's officially on PC. Just can we say?
Oh my god, that better not come true. Sony, don't let it go. This is a big exclusive for you. Do not let this go.
I don't think that's going to happen. Well, Briar's analogy may be possible. I don't think it will happen because Sony really, as much as I've wanted their exclusives to be, top tier, must-have games, they really haven't been.
What is that Sega game that just came to PC? It's an older game. It's like a turn-based strategy game. It uses Sega characters like Vice from Skies of Arcadia. What the hell is that game called?
Singularity.
No. Anyway,
Shamu?
like Vanguard Hearts or something. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, I mean, like, I could see them doing it like a couple years down the line when Bloodborne 2 is kind of coming out. Just get a little more interest in it, get some free money.
I don't think it doesn't appeal, because the thing is this, it doesn't appeal to them as much as keeping it there to force people to buy the game, because that's the thing, to buy the console, what I mean, or just add it to the library. When they do buy the console, they'll definitely buy the game later. See, the thing is, there's no ties with them. Like Microsoft has ties because they're also PC. What I mean? They have ties with that. Maybe if Sony still owned Vio, and you're saying that it's only going to be part of Vio computers, maybe. But that doesn't happen either.
Do they still make those? I didn't even know they made those.
No,
they stopped manufacturing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they still own that, then there you go. But
I had a Briar back in the day. It was purple.
Ooh, guys!
Yeah.
I always wanted one because I thought they were the shit, and then they ended up.
It was actually terrible. It had a bunch of proprietary connectors on it. I could only use Sony memory cards on it.
Oh, really? Wow.
They were just shit. You were half right, basically.
All right, guys. So moving on to a Microsoft story. Halo Online has been announced by Microsoft, and it will be free to play. And it'll be on PC. It'll only be available in Russia. Damn it!
I thought you didn't see that part. I'm like, that's a big.
Yeah. Only available in Russia. So we got to go ask Putin. Can we play it? What do you guys think about that? A Halo. Free to play Halo? Pay to win Halo?
Weird. It sounds exactly like Call of Duty Online. It's only available
in China. But Call of Duty Online is actually really awesome because they have tons and tons of favorite maps.
Nope, not that awesome.
Isn't it Halo 4?
Well, I guess
Halo
not.
4? It's run on Halo 4 game engine, correct?
No, it's the third game, actually.
Is it the Halo 3 game engine?
Yeah. Modified.
Well, you keep that free shit.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about this, though. This is such a weird announcement. Comparing it to Call of Duty Online, that game has a purpose because consoles were banned in China for 10 years, and they're only recently lifted, so that game makes a lot of sense. But this, there's no explanation to why it's only coming to Russia. This is such a weird announcement. I don't know.
Maybe Russia's the top Halo players. You just don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe they're the best of the
best. They're finally going to take off the mask, and it's going to be Putin inside.
Oh,
yeah. That was fucking stupid. Oh my god! I think that Bill Gates wants Edward Snowden. I think that's it. He's trying to help us get him. And the last story, guys, that we have for this week it's kind of a big one for my Nintendo fans out there.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda for Wii U has been delayed until 2016, and it won't be shown at E3. Which they've already shown the game previously, which is weird. They've shown the game in a playable form, and it looked really good. But
it looked so early, though, didn't it? Did anybody here expect it to come out in 2015? I didn't.
I said no. I said it wasn't coming out. If you guys want to replay that, someone on to do it to replay. I said they didn't even have a name yet, and everyone's like, they're not going to come out with the game this year. They only have a name out. Come on.
Yeah, it just had the Prince symbol above it. It wasn't Zelda Prince.
Name for the game yet. They're not ready for the game. They don't even know what to call it. They're not done with it.
This is actually something that I talked to Justin, 95 Gamers. You guys check out his channel. We talked about this yesterday, and he made a really good, solid point. Nintendo just
what you're about to say.
This. Yeah, he kind of elaborated on it. I was like, wow, that's a really great point. Nintendo just announced that their next generation console is in development and codenamed NX right now, and that it'll probably be released in 2016 or early 2017. And so. If they may do the same thing here that they did with which it was Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess for the GameCube was also ported to the Nintendo Wii, and this is how the game may be ported to the next generation console. And if that's the case, they may just be double dipping, because I can't think of any real reasons why they would, other than development issues, why they would delay their game. It looked decent. It did not look like a finished product, but I couldn't imagine anything that would keep them,
It looked like a tech demo.
Yeah, that's why I
but,
said.
but it's still, to me, it looked great. It looked like a really nice, step forward from the Wind Waker. Maybe my perceptions are off.
I had no idea. I mean, it looked like a cool trailer, but it didn't really show me anything about the next Zelda game.
No, they were actually playing it. They were playing it live.
Yeah, but come on.
The thing is, this it was pretty animated though. Like the horse movement stuff. They're saying, "Oh, it's gonna move by itself." You don't have no. That's because you guys didn't have time to put the controls in yet. So that's why. Let's just make the horse move by itself. I'm sorry. No, but the game looks like it could be cool. I don't know, man. I think they're stuck in between. Like every Zelda game comes out towards the end of the console's life. It's been doing that since forever. That's why I would say it's always been doing that. The end of the console's life means that Zelda game's coming out soon. And I don't know how or why they do it, but they manage to do that every single time, it seems like.
I think it'd be a good idea to hold the game till the next console comes out. And make
They have to reprogram it. They're going to have to redo in a different engine, unless they're going to use the same engine, which...
Oh, no, that's not going to happen.
It can't, because this is supposed to be some high-tech thing that they say everyone's being amazed.
Yes!
Yeah,
So I said last week.
The Virtual Boy 2. That's
all
what people
red,
say.
baby. All red sprites. Yeah, well, I'm hoping that it's a technically advanced system. That's what we kind of speculated on last week. And I was hoping Nintendo would go that direction versus trying to be, so special. We're Nintendo. We're going to give you a Super Nintendo with a new controller. I think that, especially the way the technology is moving ahead worldwide, that they have to be competitive. They say they're not competing with Sony and Microsoft, but they definitely are. They have a huge fan base. A lot of us have grown past Nintendo because they have refused to change. And I think that they can change but still stay the same. I think that the technology can still be there. The games just don't have to look, next super high-resolution games. They don't have to look like realism. But if they made a Mario game on a graphics engine that was on par with the PS4, it would look amazing. It would look incredible. And I think that if they were to come out with this NX, that needs to at least be on the same level as the PS4 and the Xbox One, at least. That's what.
No, it has to be above that. That's the thing. You have to ultimately be above what you think the next console generation is going to be for Xbox One to really compete. Because this is the problem, right? They bring something slightly better or around a par of what's current now, but in a couple years, that's not going to be current.
I don't agree.
Like PS4 at the moment, as we see Bloodborne and other games that look amazing, right?
Yeah.
How are they running frame rate wise? How much more can you push it? Do you see what I'm saying? Already we're getting to that point.
This is the thing, though, Hector. I don't know if that's what Nintendo's plan is, because Nintendo's on their own time for release. They've always released their consoles not when the other competitors are releasing.
Yeah.
When Xbox came out, they don't do that. So if they release theirs a year or a year and a half after the competition and their console is better than the current status of consoles, and they know that Sony and Microsoft won't be releasing another console for 4 or 5 years, they have 4 or 5 years to be the best console. And then when the next generation of Xbox and PlayStation come out, of course they'll be better. But Nintendo has soaked up all that money. I don't think it worked with the Wii U at all. But it could work here if they release something in 2016, 2017, early 2017 that is head and shoulders above what we have now as current gen systems.
Well, why do you think they get no third-party support? It's the timing. The timing's off. You're now making these developers create 2 separate versions
Whole different
every single time. And this is what keeps happening. Since literally the GameCube, they've been doing, N64, let's go back there. They've been doing the same thing. The releases have been off. And they did not want to go with the group. They separated. Everyone went to disc, they stayed cartridge. Then finally they went to disc, but they didn't want to go to normal disc. They had more memory. They went to the tiny disc. They did something to separate themselves that they thought was innovative, but in reality, they're losing third parties. And that's something that sells your console. Of course, exclusives are great, but in the end, you also need third parties to survive, because not every month an exclusive comes out. It just doesn't happen like that. So, we'll see.
Yeah, Nintendo games are definitely like too far and wide for me. Especially like look at the Wii U. You get one amazing or really great game like every 6 months. That's not enough for a system. That's really not.
They're gonna make a fortune though. Nintendo's gonna be rich soon. Soon they're gonna have free-to-play games on phones. Once it's on the phones, free-to-play games, they're gonna be billionaires. Like they're gonna be more money than they could do with it. So they might not even have to make consoles ever again because they're gonna make so much money with all these little games if they make them free-to-play and then like do little things here and there. People pay stuff. Like it's gonna be insane. To be honest with you.
I see Briar smiling. What are your thoughts, sir?
Oh, they're gonna make a fortune on this free-to-play stuff. They are. I mean, all these little addictive games, but now they have all your favorite Nintendo characters in it. Get out! It's like a license to print money.
Yeah.
So they're not going anywhere. I'm not saying Nintendo's doomed. Like they're gonna freaking be
the
richest company soon. They're like going out over Microsoft. I mean, like in video game world.
Yeah, they have more money, bar none, as far as video gaming alone. Microsoft has their money from other avenues, but Nintendo can literally fail numerous times and still be fine.
Well, their 3DS is still killing it. The new 3DS is selling great.
The new one or the new one?
The new one.
The new 3DS or the new 3DS?
The new 3DS.
The new 3DS? Oh.
No, not the new one.
I heard there's a newer one than that.
I heard there's a newest new of the new 3DS.
Yeah, it's nude.
Nude. Yes.
I don't know. I don't really want to see Nintendo make like a super powerful piece of hardware. I'd rather see them try and do something that really innovates and like synergizes between mobile and your kind of like living room space. I'd love to see them really take control of their back catalog, which is the best back catalog out of any video game company, like bar none, and like try and figure out a way that they can really satisfy gamers. You know, have those games, buy them once, have them work on your mobile console as well as your main console at home. Like kind of work all that stuff together. They don't need to make the next most powerful video game system out there. They need to make stuff that appeals to kind of their core audience.
But I think they need both. The appeal to audience and developers. Because that's what the PlayStation.
How are they going to do that though? How are they going to get developers to come back?
Because you have to make it easy for them to develop for. That's the thing. Like with that functionality,
like Sony and Microsoft did.
Exactly. You have to make it easier for them to develop. Like stop using these things that are only available for Wii U. For example, like the gamepad, right? The Wii U touchscreen pad, like it really screwed over like developers because like you have to put that in there. You have to do things for that. I'm not saying they can't be innovative. They're innovative with their games. Their characters make them unique. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think Nintendo forgot that they already are unique with their characters and there's all the people that they have. They don't have to make all these peripherals that are unique. They can make a controller and just stick with your characters. Your characters, your storylines are unique. You already have that. You already have that market. Just stick with that, but now make it easier for developers. So why can't a gamer get both? A hardcore game and also a regular Nintendo game. Why can't they have both,
That'd be nice. That'd actually be really nice.
It's like Nintendo, they look back, and that's what they've been recognized for since the Nintendo 64. The 64 was the first controller that introduced analog control. So they innovated there. The GameCube was the first
They started with that digital pad. They were the first one with a digital pad on the NES.
Yeah. That's been their bread and butter. When the 64 came out, when the GameCube came out, it was a crazy little controller that broke your hand. The Wii came out with motion controls. That's been their thing, and I think that they are losing track of what could make them even greater. Just give people a fucking gamepad. Give a person a regular. That's how we all play our games. And now
it's actually really great. It's one of my favorite controllers.
Which one?
The Pro controller.
Yeah.
It's just a basic controller. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, if they could just stick with their games, make their games great, which they have done, and not focus so much on the gimmicks. The Wii was an awesome system. Everybody bought it. Everybody and their mom bought it, but it ended up being a gimmick. Nobody plays it. Nobody wants to play it. It's more work than anything else. You put your little bar up there and wave your hands around. It's just a gimmick. People want a gaming console. And I think that this new one, if they get it right, it could be amazing. But it has to be something that, because listen to the conversations we have on our channels. We talk about what's the highest resolution, what's the best frame rate. They know that this is the fervor in the streets. People are talking about who's technologically, more sound than the competition. They don't want to come out and have a console that's going to, be subpar immediately. They're going to want to try to meet or exceed the competition. They have to have that conversation, because they see that we're technologically moving ahead so fast. Every year the PC gets obsolete. The one you got this year, next year, there'll be something that completely destroys it. And that's what people are growing to expect. The generation now is not like the one we grew up in. We grew up in a Nintendo was fine for 4, 5, 6 years. Now every year a new iPhone's out. People want the new. They want the best.
I got one prediction though. One prediction, Beasley. They, last time they added internet to their console. Now they're gonna add voice chat. Something brand new. That's what they're gonna say.
I don't believe it. No way it's gonna happen.
They're gonna make an announcement, be like, "All right, guys, remember that innovation?
Yeah,
we
voice
did it.
Chat.
We got voice chat."
You know what's silly about that? And this is a little, side story. Whenever I play Smash Brothers, we have to put on the PlayStation 4's party chat. When we're playing with, we turn on the PS4, we put our headsets on, and we chat that way while we play. Nintendo, they know they're wrong for that. That's just
the moment you gotta turn on another console to use their features to play another console, it's not. But that also puts down Sony too. The fact that you have to play that game because there isn't a game right now at the moment that you play the group for Sony puts them down too. So
yeah. Sony has some decent games, but yeah, Smash Brothers is a special kind of experience. And I'm still looking for you, Not Too Nerdy. I'm still looking for you on Smash Brothers.
Yeah, man. When they fix the frame rate, the lag, I'll be there. But that's not gonna happen. Mortal Kombat though, what's good?
All right. Oh, okay.
Right. You guys ready to play some Bloodborne?
Yes. I don't know who's going to be streaming. BriarRabbit's going to be unable to stream today. I'm actually going to go in there and cut my son's hair, so I might not be able to stream. Are you guys going to be able to stream today, or are you guys just going about your business and maybe picking up a stream next week?
Yeah, I'm not on that streaming level yet for Bloodborne. Because what happened was
I want to see Robbie do it.
What happened was
I was good for a while, dude. I looked good. I had up to it was 900 people watching me until the one part that I looked like a noob, and then you just start seeing 900, 400, 3. So pretty bad. Yeah.
I want to see Robbie do it. The level of rage that I think we could actually experience.
You guys have no idea. When I was fighting that third boss, I was
TV starts shaking.
I was doing share play. I took the controller and I actually was able to move around with it. It was a little glitchy, but I thought it's pretty funny that I was using the controller for Robbie. But to see him play, I was having a ball just watching him play, man. He was raging. He wasn't that bad. He's more calm rage. But a calm rage is for us is still pretty bad.
Yeah,
but
it's
for Robbie,
Robbie's an
old boiling pot ready to overflow.
I'm happy you mentioned that real quick, Hector. I wanted to say something about that. SharePlay and Remote Play now, with this update, they can all run it natively at whatever the resolution of the game is and 60 frames per second.
Yeah. Remote Play can do that?
Yes.
With a
new update.
That's what they did a patch. Yep.
Whoa.
That was in the 2.50 update.
And with a PlayStation TV, I assume?
Yes. The PlayStation TV is something they patch it in as well. They also,
wow, that's cool.
They did so the PlayStation TV. They patched it in. They brought up the resolution. I forgot what it went up to, but they fixed that. And I know there's another. The next update is supposed to have something else for the PlayStation TV as well.
You can probably use it now, Briar.
So I think it's going to raise it to 1080p, something like that. Because right now it's only 720p, right? If it's not the game.
Yeah, I think it's 720. Yeah.
I think they said something about 1080p for the game as well. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
The way it should be.
I actually ended up wiring that up to my bedroom with a hard wire, and it works pretty good.
Yeah.
I want to see a review on that, Briar.
Maybe I'll do that. It's a tough thing to review because the performance of it is so based on your network connection.
Yeah.
It really is. If you've got a solid connection between your PS4 and your PlayStation TV, it works pretty good. But if you don't, it's garbage. It's absolute garbage.
I think the Wi-Fi that they put in there sucks.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
The PS4,
it's the Wi-Fi in there. I think that's what it is. But I know people that said that it's hardwired. It runs great. A lot of people like it hardwired.
It's not perfect, but it's a lot cheaper than buying another PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And so if you want to play, you know, I've already got 2 PlayStation 4s. I don't really want another one.
Yeah, that may be something I'll pick up in the future. And before we leave, Briar, I wanted to tell you that I'm really enjoying your new series where you dismantle or keep your weapons in Destiny. It was a great idea, and it's really fun to watch. You weigh the pros and cons of the weapon, and you leave it up to your subscribers as to whether or not you should dismantle it for material or you keep it. I think that's really awesome.
I got a funny story about that. I'll share it really quick, and then we'll get off. But the way I count the votes is I go through the comments, and I start by I count each one that's keep it, and I count them all up by going all the way down the comments. And then I start from the bottom and do shard it, and I go all the way up the comments. That way I only have to scroll down once and up once, you know? And I just I keep track in a document on the side. I get to the very top, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and the comment at the very top is Robbie saying shard it. And that weapon got sharded by 1 vote, and it was Robbie's.
Robbie, he reaches out and touches us in the most amazing ways.
He was literally like the comment at the very top saying shard it. And that was the last one I got to. I count up all the votes, and it was sharded by 1 vote.
Robbie, you're a special friend, man. And before we leave, I wanted to tell everybody watching, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. 50 thumbs up, and BriarRabbit has to play The Last of Us. So let's do that. Let's make that happen. We're going to live stream it so you guys can see it.
Hit thumbs down, please.
With face cam. With face cam. Because I want to see his reaction. I want to see his reaction to this, people.
To some bitch bombs, yeah.
In fact, I got to make sure I open up more accounts tonight.
Yeah, you got thumbs up one up.
Oh, shit, right here.